Hello, welcome. Thank you for joining the CatnClever EdTech Investment Conference. My name is Batuhan, and I'll be the host today. First, I'd like to say a few words about the Startup Club. We are a global entrepreneur community. We connect entrepreneur with investor through these industry-specific fundraising events for more than 4 years now. Apart from EdTech, we cover other industries such as health tech, fintech, green tech, fashion tech, and many more. And today we have 6 promising EdTech startups from the US and Europe. Let me share my screen to show you the presenters and advisory board. So we have CatnClever, Best Parents, A2 Zebra, Skillties, Tempo Rating, Edsoma Read. We have different focuses here, such as tools and app that makes education fun for children, education travel marketplace, AI for skill management and development. And each company will do 5-minute presentation that will be followed by 7 minutes Q&A and discussion session with the advisory board members. And as you can see, we have investors from Educapital, Brighteye Ventures, Mediahuis Ventures, General Catalyst, and Emerge. I will ask them to introduce themselves. Alexandre, shall we start with you? Could you please briefly introduce yourself?
Sorry, there's an echo. I don't know if you hear it as well.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so my name's Alex. I'm an investor at Educapital. We're an EdTech focused fund. So we invest in any segment within the EdTech market, from pre-K to lifelong learning and corporate training, writing mostly check at the Series A stage. So companies post-product market fit of, let's say, initial ticket of around 3 million. We can do a bit less, but our sweet spot is really the 3 million check at the Series A in a Series A round. We have around 200 million under management, and we're currently investing out of our second fund, which is 150 million in size. And I've joined the fund around 4 years ago, basically. Mostly European companies, although we've done a couple of deals outside of Europe as well.
Great. Thanks so much, Alexandre. Thank you for being here with us. Hannes?
Yeah, thank you for having me. Hannes from Brighteye Ventures, European, also EdTech focused fund based in Paris and London. We mainly do seed and Series A. Ticket size is 1 million to 4 million usually. We've done about 50 investments in the space over the past 5 years, investing out of our second fund as well. Focus is Europe. We sometimes also invest in the US and Israel.
Thank you, Hannes. Elezi, please.
Nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Thea. I lead investments in EdTech startups at Mediahuis Ventures. We are an Amsterdam-based CVC fund of 300 million that is fully focused on both EdTech and future of work. Within EdTech, we mainly currently focus on higher education and corporate training, but also some aspects of lifelong learning. And we are also more into the Series A type of investments, but we do late seed and Series B as well. So our tickets range between 1 and 20 million, but our sweet spot is more 2 to 6 million, I would say. We're a lead or a co-lead investor, and we've currently done 9 investments. We've been around for the last 3.5 years, I would say. And that's it for me.
Thanks so much. Vincent?
Hello, everybody. My name is Vincent. I sit on the early stage team for General Catalyst. General Catalyst is a multi-stage firm staging anywhere between pre-seed all the way up to buyout, mainly based in the US, but we also have a more emerging European presence. Recently joined forces with a seed-only fund in Europe called La Familia. In terms of where we play for pre-seed, seed, and Series A for early stage, it's checks anywhere between 250K all the way up to roughly around 5 or 6 million for the Series A, always co-leading or leading that as well. Really excited about EdTech investments, especially those who are building for the new learners of tomorrow. And so we're excited to hear a lot more from you all today. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Vincent. Sami?
Hello, good to be here. Thanks a lot for setting this up, Batuhan. I work for Emerge. Emerge is a pre-seed seed fund focused on investing in companies that democratize access to opportunity. So this includes EdTech, productivity, future of work. We've got 50 million assets under management and a portfolio of around 80 investments. Our check size is around 500,000 to 1.5 million. We aim to lead pre-seed seed rounds. We're based in London, invest globally. Yeah, I mean, the unique sort of value prop of Emerge, not to bore you, is that we have a sort of really strong cohort of LPs and VPs, a who's who of CEOs and founders from some of the most successful edtech companies globally. So among that is included CEO of Udemy, Degree, Trilogy, Beamery, Busuu, Kahoot, and more. So we aim to really get with the companies that we invest with early and foster their growth through connecting with the right people who've been through those experiences previously. This is my 3rd month at Emerge, and prior to that, I spent 6 years working at Uber, Gorillas, and as a management consultant.
Yeah, thanks so much for the introduction, Sami. And thank you for being here again. Okay, let's get started then. As mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned that, event will take 90 minutes. So we will finish approximately 7:30 European time, 1:30 Eastern time. And the first company is CatnClever. Olga Fiedler, CEO of the company, will do the presentation. Olga, please feel free to share your screen and start presentation.
Thank you very much, Patahan. So I just, oh, it is disabled. I cannot share.
Okay, let me give you the permissions for about that.
Yeah.
Now you should be able to share.
Okay. So, hi everyone, I'm Olga. I'm CEO and co-founder of CatnClever, gamified learning platform for preschoolers. Today, I would like to address concerning issues. Our preschoolers spend up to 3 hours per day on screens. In fact, such apps like TikTok create some health issues for our preschoolers, like eating and sleeping disorders. And in fact, the studies shows that 75% of apps for preschoolers contain low-quality games and sometimes even violent content. Such a famous video like Bus on the Wheels lack educational value and often have addictive nature. Bus on the Wheels have already almost 6 billion views. So we are convinced that it is really time to develop quality learning tools for preschoolers. We are convinced of our mission. We would like to make the best use of unavoidable screen time spent by our kids in our digital age. We would like to give parents confidence that the game-based tools can improve kids' learning, and we would like to give kids head start to school. Our solution is CatnClever, which is a serious game which helps children develop basic skills for school and for life. It is multi-subject, it is fully interactive and gamified, has adaptive level of difficulty, and has a unique parent dashboard which monitors child's progress. Exercises are in German and English. Each lesson is a story written by famous, writers, prize-winning writers, accompanied with music written especially for us with a famous German band, and of course developed with very talented pedagogues and software engineers. Our key customer segments are B2C, and we are starting now also developing B2B. We would like to offer to corporations which are friendly, family-friendly, our product as a childcare employee benefit, and already started talks with big corporations like Swiss Re and Dow Chemical and so on. Our third pillar is children in humanitarian crisis. In fact, it was developed by itself, but already now we have 30% of our users are kids from such countries as Syria, Iran, Iraq, Ukraine. So, of course, before developing the app, we studied the market carefully. So it is a big global trend, and the market already now a multi-billion market. But in Europe, in German and English-speaking space, there are no similar apps like CatnClever, while USA and China are far ahead of Europe. So our competitors in Spain, in the Europe, and in the US. Our main competitor in the US is ABC Mouse, who developed to a triple unicorn over pandemics. Most of the apps do not offer socio-emotional learning as we do not offer multiple languages as we do, and also doesn't have a data dashboard that monitors child's progress. So our business model, we started with a free app in 22. It was actually MVP. And early this year, we transitioned to freemium subscription, offering our product for 25 euros per annum. The full price will be 90. So we had a substantial growth to 160,000 today with rather modest marketing means. And we experienced over the last year very good metrics, sales metrics, and they tripled actually over the last couple of months. Our roadmap, we developed the app in iOS and Android in 2 main languages. We shown traction, and our next milestones will be to reach the pay conversion rate of 2% over the next years for both iOS and Android systems. So to further grow the user base and start collecting revenues, arriving at 10 million in 27. Our team. I founded this company together with Sebastian, who is a very experienced and talented software engineer. I myself hold PhD in mathematics and have successfully built up from scratch 2 financial services companies as CEO. We are all passionate educators, especially proud we are of our Learning Sciences Advisory Board from NYU Jan Plus and from ETH in Zurich Manu Kapoor. We follow UN sustainability goals 3, 4, 5, and 10. As I mentioned before, we have already 30% of our users coming from the areas in humanitarian crisis. For this effort, we have received Global Impact Awards and were nominated recently for 100 Global Collection 24, which is given to most impactful and scalable innovations in education worldwide. We are asking now for 1 million seed round. We did pre-seed before. We have already secured 20%. We would like to use these funds for further content development and for marketing efforts for adding additional AI features. So here are a couple of titles which we were published in the press recently. Thank you very much for your attention.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Olga. Great presentation.
Thank you.
So let's get into the Q&A session. Alexandre, would you like to start? What do you think about it?
Just a couple of questions perhaps on your product. So how does it work in terms of content production? Do you have a content production engine in-house? Do you leverage, external contractors, or and what kind of generative AI tech would you leverage to produce content?
So we have not used the generative AI until now to produce content. We produce content ourselves. So we have freelancers who are working for us. But all the content belonging to us. So we have different teams: pedagogues, software developers, writers, actors, animators. So they're all working together, and the content is ours.
Okay.
Thank you, Alexandre. Tia?
Yes. I was wondering 2 things. First of all, why do you think that it's difficult for US competitors to also be able to dominate the English-speaking European market? And the second question is, what would be the costs that are associated with actually providing this for free for humanitarian purposes? I assume that they wouldn't be very significant, but perhaps you can tell me if you've done that analysis, if you think that will be a significant cost burden for the company.
Yeah, maybe I start. Thank you for this question. I start with the second. So we offer, as soon as we see that the user is coming from Syria, Iran, Iraq, Turkey, we switch off the paywall. But we do not use any marketing campaign in those countries. They are coming by themselves, to us. So that's why there are no additional cost involved providing this app to the areas in humanitarian crisis. Regarding the US, so English, the question was, what is the most difficulty to become the leading app in English-speaking space, or?
No, you mentioned, so you were doing an analysis of the competitive landscape, and you said that US competitors are quite ahead. What
Yes.
would, considering the go-to-market model for a type of product like this, considering that it's relatively easy to essentially, I don't know, download and start using in your phone, why would it be such a challenge for your US-based competitors to also be able to provide this for European kids, essentially? I don't see what the barrier is for a US player to also win in Europe.
Yeah, so first of all, they are very, first of all, they do not have the same features as we do. So they are far ahead in terms of they are used much more by the population. Every family in US knows ABC Mouse, while in Europe, for example, the people are saying, no, we do not give screen time to our kids, you know. There is a discussion about this. But so to enter the European market, they need to understand European cultures. So it is not just the adjustment, translation of the language, it is adjustment of the appearance, adjustment of the assets, adjustment of the stories. So right now, the American apps are too crowded, too loud for the European taste. So therefore, we are thinking that our app with European appearance, with European stories and music is more acceptable by European parents. So, and we were also thinking about this, why ABC Mouse or now nor HANA can we go to Europe? And of course, I think first of all, this adoption to the culture is difficult. We are thinking now to use Gen AI, for example, to do our app for Arabic culture, for example. So that means we will transform our stories, we will transform our visuals and music to the other culture using Gen AI. So we are having now this project and we applied for grant somewhere with Bill Gates
Thank you,
Foundation.
Olga. We have about 2 minutes, so let's do it more quicker. Hannes, I guess you have a question or comment.
Yeah, maybe a quick question, just adding basically to Thea's point of what you just said, Olga. I would be curious about your go-to-market, especially. You know, B2C has also been not too easy in the last few months. And so is there, you know, how do you do it? Is it just basic meta ads, or is there a way to go through preschools and then monetize parents? Sort of what's your go-to-market motion and growth motion at that end?
So no, we are doing through Google and Apple ads. Right now, we are not going through the schools because you need to have a certification from the government in each country. So we decided to do B2B through corporations. So this is an easier way. So we're discussing also in the Female Founders Association, which you visited, so and everybody saying schools, forget about this right now, you know. So I think it is a better way to go to corporations, also to travel carriers who will use our app for families on the travel, you know. So that is what is our B2B approach. And B2C is still as ads and yeah. So we have these printed materials which we give to the school, to the pre-kindergartens and everywhere. So we are doing this stuff as well.
Yeah, thanks so much for the question, Hannes, and thank you so much for the answers, Olga. It's time's almost up. Thank you.
Thank you.
And
Thank you as well from my side. Thank you.
Olga. Yeah, let's move to the second presentation. By the way, investor in the audience, if you have any question or comment, you can use the chat to interact with the presenters, either public chat or you can message privately to the presenters, you know, contact exchange and everything. The next company is Best Parent. Burçin, CEO of the company, will do the presentation. Burçin, feel free to share your screen and start your presentation.
Hello, everybody, and thank you very much. And it is perfect that we have got 6 minutes for SF startup. It is too long. So because of this, I am going to start with introducing myself. I am Burçin Advani. I have got 14 years in education consultancy business. So many of you know the business that it is $230 billion value market, and it is mostly focusing on the Europe and the US and UK summer schools and universities all around the world. And 70% of these business value is coming from the education consultants. So they are not doing the direct bookings for customers. They are finding education consultants. So while you are doing that, we have to And I know that there are many university owners in the audiences now. I sold many of these universities, bachelor degrees in the past. And how do we meet with them? I am going to share what is happening. We are going to education fairs. So we meet with the sales teams and they are meeting with the consultant. This is, maybe you see, this is one of the B2B education fair. Now we are in it now. They are in the other room. So this is happening every month, every week in the wherever the education consultancies are trying to sell their like products, and we are creating revenues from here. So what is the obstacle in here when we are doing this? So universities or like summer camps all around the world, they're hiring sales teams, and we are educating the consultants every year. And you know what's happening? After 2 years, you are losing your education consultants because they are starting to open their own businesses. So you always say small business can't grow. How we can solve this problem? I was telling myself that, okay, Burçin, I want to grow because I want to be the booking.com of the summer camps in the future. What can we do? So like I tried with Good Parents. I had another startup before Best Parents, but my obstacle was that I didn't have a technical co-founder, but now I have my technical co-founder in here. So, and we are so lucky. In the middle of the marketplace, ChatGPT came and everything changed because we started to make the wonderful matching. Because in this market, the poor matching is the problem, because the customers, students, parents want to get the nice education, and consultants' knowledge is limited. So when you are matching it, you can't get the customer satisfaction. How we can grow it? Exactly, ChatGPT came at the right time, and I found the great CTO co-founder with me, and we created bestparents.com. I am going to show you what is Best Parents is doing. And actually we started, I'm going to tell you the bonus today. We started, sorry, that, okay. So in here, you can, okay. In here, there are 300 programs in our portal. So you can check it according to like their interest, and you can definitely figure out that, oh, this is the perfect camp. Now, this is very traditional way that, but the camp itself can enter their data, and the customers can definitely book through this website. And the good thing is that as ChatGPT came, now we change it a lot. Now they can write whatever they want, looking for their customers or their children, so they can match and they can book it in 2 minutes. So we went to the education consultancy fair and we showed this product, and we have been offered 2 times exit to the big education consulting companies from India. And after we said that, wait a second, so they need this technology. I understand that they can't afford to create it. So what about if we give this website as white label to them, and they can generate booking as agent? So last month we pivoted it to SaaS. So we started to get the agents to our portal. So we started with small agencies. So they can put their logo in here and they can create the booking from here. So last year, with zero CAC, of course, as a startup, I know that this is the question. With zero CAC, we generated $1.2 million revenue just from this website. And now we are adding more and more agencies, and we are adding more and more suppliers, educators to our portal. Why we were focusing on the like younger generation, summer camps? Because of data, because we know that if we get more and more students younger ages, lifetime is approximately 4 years, and return rate is 70%. So because of this, we are focusing this international education and summer camp business all around the world.
Thanks so much, Burçin. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Vincent, let's start with you. What do you think? Do you have any question?
Sure. Thank you for presenting. One question I would have is, in terms of being a business, in terms of seasonality, obviously many students are locked in a classroom from, a period of the year, and then
Yeah.
maybe get a winter break or a summer break. How have you been thinking about maybe preventing some seasonality in the business? If that's something you've thought about. Obviously, I understand you're also a bit early though. So.
Yeah, it's a perfect question. Definitely different regions have got different summer holidays as well. So because of this, you are creating different like educators. They are going to different educators, different locations to feed different like countries. For example, Latin America coming to you, that's during summer. So you have to create like educators like portal and booking and the camps for them as well. So we are advising to educators as well that what about creating this camp in this season, because we have the data definitely. So yeah, this is exactly seasonal, but on the other hand that like it is tourism is seasonal as well, but at the same time that you are creating the bookings year round, and of course the publishing is happening during the summer.
Yeah, thanks so much, Vincent. Sami, do you have any question?
Hey, Burchin, thank you very much. It's great. Just to clarify, so is your primary play white label SaaS or platform in your own right, aggregating camps and universities? Like, what's your main avenue here?
What's
your main avenue here? Like, where you're really targeting?
Yeah, so in SaaS we are always talking about the RRRs, but in here we made a different business model, because normally they can create 15%, 20% commission when they book the summer camp from the suppliers itself. We made the decision that okay, for this white label thing that we can get the subscription around $2,000 per year. But the other thing is that we can get the 10%, so we can deduct your subscription while we are paying their revenue. So it is going to be win-win. So I don't want to stop our because this is the AI business box. So we are doing all the bookings and the headphones, everything's going. So yes, the minimum is 2,000 per year subscription, but every booking we are giving them 10%, but mostly we are getting 20% from the suppliers.
Right. Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Sami. Hannes, any question from your side?
Maybe just a bit broader question, but overall, I know the little differences, but the market overall is rather crowded, especially when it comes to the marketplace side. I feel like sort of what do you see as your key differentiator compared to potential competitors?
Actually, we are the first marketplace for the summer camps. We don't have any competitors yet, and actually our difference is even somebody wants to copy us, they have to copy me plus my co-founder, so it is not possible. We are going to be always like running fast from the others.
Okay.
Thank you, Hannes. Thea?
Sorry, I need to mute and unmute myself, which always takes a second. You said something earlier about generating 1.2 million in revenue without any CAC. That seems like an interesting statement. Can you elaborate what you mean? Do you mean that you generated 1.2 million in GMV, or that you actually generated revenues and you did not spend anything at all to generate them, not marketing, not sales? Because that's I've never seen that before, I think.
Cool. So in a basket size is around $5,000. So we have sold 140 product. So yeah, definitely we generated that revenue from Stripe alerts. So it is coming to us. But if you talk about the income, that how many commission that we created, it's around like 240. gross. And we didn't use any marketing, not paid. It is word of mouth, definitely, and SEO, because and we are very good at content creation and cross branding, and we are very good at finding the family-oriented networks.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexander. We have less than a minute, but if you have any comment, maybe a small, short question, you can take it.
Yes, perhaps one quick question regarding what Hannes mentioned. So you said you didn't have any competition. What do you have an idea of the market depth for summer camps, and to what extent the fact that you're in a blue ocean, you mentioned, is this a signal that perhaps the market is not big enough, or how are you seeing the market rather?
And I need very short answer for that, Burçin, maybe 30 seconds. Go on, please.
Yeah, the reason why we didn't have any competitors, because it is created by this market is for small business and medium type of businesses, so they couldn't afford this technology.
There's hundreds of thousands of them.
Yeah,
The small businesses.
yeah, 100,000 of agencies around the world, and they couldn't afford that technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the advisor. Thanks so much for the answer, Burçin.
Thank you very much.
All right, then. The next speech is Skillties. Leonard will present the opportunity. Leonard, feel free to share your screen and start.
Let me just start sharing my screen. Wait a second. All right. First of all, thank you for having me today. I'm Leonard, and I'm not here alone. I'm here with Sebastian, my co-founder and the CTO at Skillties. So to put Skillties really in a nutshell is that we use AI to automate roughly 90% of all HR development tasks. But before we show you what we do, let's scope a little bit the problem we are addressing. It's a problem you're all familiar with it. You know, this old-fashioned employee performance reviews where you sit together with HR and you kind of define in what direction you should develop within the next months. And after the meeting, nothing is happening. Why? Well, HR development is not about just reviews and setting objectives. It's actually a journey of small incremental steps. And those steps are too often falling behind. I think the reasons are quite obvious. HR doesn't have enough resources, direct managers are lost in business, and just the normal employee doesn't have a clear action plan. We are going to solve this. We developed a chatbot who runs smoothly directly in MS Teams, who recommends learning initiatives directly to an employee. But those learning initiatives are really based on the skill gaps an employee has, consider his or her career objectives, and of course, the individual learner preference and the budget. It is a way of continuously develop an entire workforce from 50 to a couple of 10,000 employees, in a very smooth, simple way. But this is not just a chatbot. In fact, it is probably the most sophisticated AI in the domain of HR development. Our AI knows all skills in the world, starting from technology skills over civil engineering to medicine. It is even so intelligent when applied to a company that it knows the company internal skills. When it comes to the individual user, it helps to identify not just the skills, but also the so-called hidden skills, very valuable information for HR. But I think our biggest trick comes with learning. Skillties is able to recommend learning opportunities from the newest and latest podcast and blog to on-demand providers up to internal training programs and learning management systems. So how are we doing that? Our AI constructs the world's largest skills and learning database completely automatically. And very important for investors, we developed this AI in-house. So where are we in our venture? We have a scientific background at the university in Hagen, developed the AI, Then we developed the basic fundamental together with a customer called Adding, roughly 800 employees. And now we bring both together. Within the course of the next 4 months, we will ship a first product. How we are going to generate revenue? First, we really believe in a freemium version. Small teams can use Skillties for free, and we generate revenue just by using affiliate links. A very straightforward and simple business. Additionally, we have a classic B2B subscription model ranging with a subscription pricing from 3 to 5 euro per month. And lastly, a lot of big players in the HR industry got in touch with us, really interested in our technology. So there's a huge potential scaling Skillties through the use of API calls. We just didn't develop a software. We also started building a sales pipeline with the first customer, with Adding in place, and we generated first revenue. So what's our background? On the one hand, there is Sebastian, the mastermind of the both of us, who has a big background in skill management from Deutsche Telekom and a scientific background in the area of AI and skill management. And then as me, I'm a veteran in the SaaS industry, building a company from up to 300K to over 10 million ARR. We are currently raising 400K euro, and we already have prestigious investors on board. First of all, Alligator, a Berlin-based VC who is solely focused on HR tech, and Dr. Angelika Reich, a partner at McKinsey & Company with a huge domain know-how in talent management. And that's Skillties.
Great. Thanks so much, Leonard. Let's start with Alexandre.
Yeah. So I think Leonard, we've met before. Just a couple of questions on this space. I mean, on your product and on the competition. So on your product, how do you build the skills ontology that you're building? So I understand you do AI-based skills inference, but to what extent do you need to leverage internal company data, and what kind of data do you scrap from, their record of employees and all that? To what extent is it granular enough, and to what extent does it need like some form of work? The second question perhaps is, you were mentioning that you wanted to make the product available for any type of company, even the smallest size companies. When you look at the competition, the Retrain AI and TechWolf, they mostly focus on blue chip enterprise clients. Because it's when it becomes very relevant. How could you explain why you target small companies, and how do you make it, both scalable in terms of work and in terms of a business model as well?
Yeah, sure. Let me maybe first address the first question with a short answer, and I hope this answer will address a little bit the question. Otherwise, I think Sebastian can give you more elaborated overview about how we are doing it. So basically for us, it doesn't make any difference what kind of information we have. It could be information from a learning management system, RSS feed from all podcasts, RSS feed from blogs, all Udemy information, and so on. We just need natural language text information. Those language text information, we come to our AI here, placed in the middle, and from out this natural text information, we build ontology. So this is a completely different way compared to our competitors, which usually build a skill ontology based off information from job ads. We don't come from the job direction, we come from the learning direction, from the education direction. However, this builds a much more dense ontology. And this ontology includes basically all skills related to basically all skills from the different content types. So for example, if we are entering the market for medicine, we just go to a couple of medicine content, and we have all the medicine skills in our database. Related, interfered, and very important, interfered, of course, to the different content pieces.
Yeah, just one follow-up question very briefly on this. One of the challenge perhaps is, LMSs, sometimes they have very low activation rates, people don't connect. So sometimes even the skills within the CMS or the LMS is not up to date to what actually the skills the company has in-house. How do you mitigate these challenges? So for instance, because you don't go from the talent base, but from, more the learning content that the company has in-house? How do you make sure that it's granular enough, basically?
Can you repeat the question? I think I didn't.
Let me just answer, Sebastian, here. So the big question is, Deutsche Telekom has, with around 100,000 people, a skill management solution in place, yeah, and it's exactly the problem that you addressed right now, that the data is not actual, yeah, because everyone threatens skill management as a CV, yeah, you only fill it if you're searching for a new job. And the thing that we would like to do is, that's why we're doing a chatbot in the Teams integration, so that we challenge the user and say, hey, I see Friday 12 till 1 o'clock, you have a free spot. Don't you want to do learning content that you have on your black backlog? Yeah. Should I book this meeting into your calendar and something like this? Yeah. Or hey, with pattern recognition, how good are you in this skill? I saw that your others with this profile has this, and things like that. Yeah. Always interacting with the user, that he's not like the manager asked his employee once in a year on a people development or people development meeting on if he did a meeting, or if he did a training, and then he says, oh no, I didn't have time for that. Yeah, so we would like to engage it automatically with our AI continuously.
This is also the experience we made when talking to HR. They are sick of another application. They want to have something that runs in the background and not another, except maybe some dashboard information for the admin, but really for the normal user, please not another application.
Okay, makes sense. Thanks.
You had a second question, no? May I can maybe address that one. So our go-to-market. Our go-to-market is very much connected with our different revenue streams. We built basically the current website we have, skillties.com, is completely changing. Imagine the site more as a Google, with something that looks like Google. You go on the website, type in a job or type in some skill, and we are recommending you the right content or the right learning opportunities. And this is the way how we generate, how we build basically a bottom-up approach. I know it's quite a new approach, because usually in HR you have this heavy long-term sales cycle, but we really believe, since we are very content, pretty learning driven, we can build it from the bottom up, same as Miro did or same as Slack did. So we create basically value for the single user, then we create value for the team user who just wants to run through its team, and then we can go basically for the whole company.
Yeah, thank you, Leonard. We have about a minute, so we will just have one more question. Maybe anyone wants to jump in, or
I'll ask something. I wanted you to please elaborate a tiny bit on how the skills mapping works. So I understand that, of course, all the different contents of, for example, an LMS are actually mapped in terms of skills, and then that is matched essentially to the person that is using the software. But to what extent can you actually ensure that it is fit for the learning goals and also for the skill level of this particular employee? So how deep is actually the skills mapping? And can you just explain briefly a little bit more about how it works?
Okay, the two
you have about 30 seconds, by the way, Leonard. You have to be fast.
Let me just try to do it fast way. Yeah. So you have the learning content. We take the learning content and we use with my PhD NLP AI ontology. We make automatically an ontology which is just based on what you've written, and then the companies can define skill profiles or skills, whatever they do, they can share it, and we map them with ontology technique. Yeah, and this maps basically then the gap and whatever you have as your job profile or skill profile with the content, and then it comes a lot of more of recommendation systems and so on. Yeah, so we combine more than one AI, yeah, like symbolic AI and sub-symbolic AI, so it works from day one without training. And it's really complicated. So if you're really interested,
thanks, Sebastian. Actually, I will have to interrupt you there, but feel free to reach out them to learn more about it privately.
Yeah,
thanks so much for the presentation, Leonard and Sebastian. Very insightful.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you. So the next presentation is, the next company is A2Zebra. Alicia Banner will present the opportunity. Alicia, feel free to share a screen and start. Alicia, I can see your screen, but I cannot hear you.
Okay, do you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, I use the webcam now. Okay, hi, my name is Elisha. I'm an education content creator with 15,000 followers, and our EdTech was just named one of the top 5 EdTech companies by Early Bird VCs. And we have a huge hype right now with the PISA studies. I'm not sure if you're aware of this. I just posted a LinkedIn post a couple of days ago, and it's over 40,000 impressions. And it's regarding the current PISA study, which I will talk about today. Maybe you are familiar to it. Yeah, let me just start very quickly here. There are my 2 nephews and me. One of them is the CEO of our company, the Kids Executive Officer. And together we are reinventing education with AI and the Tamagotchi effect. And if you're looking at the current PISA studies, what's interesting, I'm from Berlin. Germany has never been that bad in mathematics in particular. And this is not a new problem, but it goes down and Germany gets worse and worse. And it's true for most European countries, actually not that informed about the US market. But I'm very familiar to this problem because, yeah, my mother's a learning psychologist, and she was focused on kids with dyscalculia, so kids with math disabilities. And if they have a problem, parents spend up to 350 euros per month. It's a very nice subscription for their education. And what she used basically dice to help them learn math. And what I did, I had an invention based on that. So almost 20% of kids have problems with that. I just put it in a box. I call it, it's the Tony box for digital learning. Maybe you're aware of Tonys. And the kids have to shake it. They can learn math from 1st grade to 4th grade with that concept. It's not only, they're not only games, but also story, but also licensing stuff. So you can take the head off. You can have stories of Paw Patrol and all this stuff. Yeah, we've made 10,000 euros revenue every month. We started with schools and it was very complicated to make a sales. And then we switched. So I made a YouTube video and it made over 10,000 sales just based on one video in the B2C market. We really found a niche there. And as it's such a huge problem right now, and also during the last years, especially here in Germany, we get a lot of traction based on that. Our product costs like 80 euros. And then most of the money, 80% will be made by the subscription, which I will explain later on. What's the problem of our customers? So I've talked to every customer who bought our product, and some of the customers have dyscalculia, like a math disability, and most of them are just, I would say, regular students who are just behind the schedule. And end of 2nd grade, the parents realize, oh shit, they are really behind the schedule, and then they buy our product. Just to give you a bit of a glimpse in the IoT market. So the global child education market was at $330 billion US. And then you have the IoT education market. For example, Tonybox is one of them with 8.7 billion market. It grows at 20%. It's one of the fastest growing markets. And I believe we can make 100 million revenue in the last 5 years. It's something which Tonybox did, and they are our partners. So half of their management board just invested in our company. We raised 500,000 euros in the last couple of weeks, and they made a 1 billion SPAC. They now scale to US, a very successful company, and they have tangible learning, just tangible learning. And now you have like companies like Eduvino who combine the tangible learning with a tablet, for instance. And they also raised, I think, 30 million euros, very interesting company, but they don't really have an education purpose. So all they do is they have a toy which they put on the tablet and then the game starts, that's it. And for us, there's a high interactivity, there are a lot of sensors, there are a lot of technology with a deep pedagogical value for the kids and the parents in the end as well, who save a lot of money. So yeah. And we envision a future of digital education that merges AI with tangible learning. Just to give you a glance how it works. So basically it's the camera inside here in the bottom. And this way we can recognize the dice. Here we can see it. If we see 3, we have to do -7, and then you know it's a 4. And then we stream this data to the tablet. So we use sensors and image recognition for that. We also have a shaking sensor on that. We also have learning analytics. So basically, as a parent, you can always track where child is right now, which is really valuable. And I believe they will buy a subscription for that. Then we have ChatGPT generated stories. So one of our investors is the head of tech at Tonyboxes. So you can ask ChatGPT, hey, give me a story about sharks in mathematics, 2 + 5. And then he will give you exactly this story. And I believe really with this ChatGPT generated or AI generated content, but also entertainment, edutainment, this will be a huge market for us. Then we also have recommendation systems. So we're working on that. So similar to Duolingo, I think they do it like a language app. We can recommend exactly what the child needs right now. And in the long term, we want to go for other curriculums and always have the same combination of AI and IoT. We are 3.5 tech founders reinventing education. I worked 8 years in the field of robotics and also have a YouTube channel with 15,000 followers where I had a passion just for education. My co-founder Andreas worked for a German medium-sized company. He's in charge of the manufacturing. We currently manufacture the same company where Tonybox produced made over 500 million revenue. Then we have Justina, who's one of the pioneers in designing toys for kids. It looks like this, one of her last ones, and IoT toys. And I think now it's just the first timing that you can explore those IoT toys in combination with AI. And then we have Dea, she's the new KO of our company. She has 2 years experience in primary school as our CAT's executive officer. We have several business managers from Tonybags. We have business angels who work at Holzbrick Venture Capital. We have influencers, and we have learning therapists as business angels. Yeah, we want to be the road.
Thank you so much. I have to interrupt you there. We will dive into it in the Q&A session.
Yes, maybe we can talk about the business model in the questions. Sorry.
Yeah, why not? So let's start with Vincent. Vincent, what do you think about it? Do you have any comment or question?
Sure. Thank you. This made me dream a little bit. It's a very cool, I think, concept. Maybe one quick question is, I think whenever you talk about hardware or like anything, like any consumer hardware, every VC probably starts to shy away a little bit. So just curious, like what are some of the answers you may have for folks who have concerns around the manufacturing process and how long that will end up taking?
Yeah, it's not that complicated. We're in the middle of that. And a lot of venture capital firms rejected Tonybox as an investor. So I talked about Red Apin, and they just missed the biggest investment, one of the biggest investments of the last years here in Germany because of that reasons. So it's not such a super complicated, like on the hardware side, it's not a super difficult sensor technology. They're like simple sensors which are available on the market. And the main thing is the software behind that. And we have protected. So it's like if you compare it at Tony, are you aware of Tony's and Tonybox, Vincent? The company? Okay, you have to check it out. They made a 1 billion SPAC, but they just really showed that you can have like simple UI and UX with kids' toys and interactive devices, learning devices. And it's not that kind of difficult. So I've been experiencing it since 8 years. I've done this a couple of times. And yeah, we're full in the process. So if you have someone who's really a deep expert in manufacturing, he can talk to us and he will come back with you in a couple of seconds and say, yeah, they know what they're working on.
Thank you, Vincent.
And maybe one, okay, cool. One thing, if it's about,
please add.
One thing, if it's consumer, it's really good for sales if you have something tangible. It's just really a nice lock-in effect, which I showed here. So if one time the lock-in effect, like an Apple, and then most of the money you will make with software. So it's a high, like as a venture capital firm, you're really aware of sales. So it's a really nice way to do a lot of sales.
Thank you, Elsha. Vincent, Sami, do you have any question?
Hey, Alicia, thanks for that. That was brilliant. So Emerge was a pre-seed investor in Educapital, one of the investors you mentioned. So definitely sold on the concept and certainly not scared off by hardware. But I'm curious how you differentiated from Educapital. I mean, you mentioned product and AI software-based learning psychology in the pitch there, but can you elaborate on that? What does that actually mean?
Yeah, I can give you one example. So basically, they just have, they don't even have a PCB, like no technology inside. And we have, for instance, LEDs. And if the kids makes a mistake, it blinks in different colors. And it's very valuable because normally with paper and pen, if a child makes a mistake, they don't get feedback, or just 2 weeks later. It's like a child who learns how to walk, falls down, and only gets feedback 2 weeks later. So 2 weeks later, they, fuck, what happened? And this is something we really use. So for instance, the different colors, we have green, red, and different colors. And we really realize that this is motivating the children in a lot of ways, but also gives them direct feedback and has incredible educational purpose. And then the second thing is just the dice itself, which we use, is super helpful for learning mathematics. And it's more about the toy in our case. So I feel like Educapital, it's a nice company, but they're more about, hey, let's keep my child, or like when the parents are like, I want to make my child like busy when I have to do shit. And for us, it's more like really deep education purpose with all the different sensors we're using.
Okay, that was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Sami.
And just one thing, like the husband of Irene, who was the one who recommended us in the article at Gründerscene. I will put it in the chat here afterwards.
Great. Thank you.
So anyone wants to jump in?
Yeah, one question perhaps. So we were also investors in Luni that you might have heard of. That is a direct competitor of Tony's. And so we're not afraid of hardware either. But 2 questions perhaps. You mentioned Tony's. I think what Tony's cracked as well was the distribution strategy. not only the manufacturing side of things. So how are you planning on going to market in this? What kind of distribution contracts do you want to have? And can you go back perhaps to the slide on the business model? I mean, because it's both selling hardware and a subscription, I suppose. What kind of margins would you want to look at, in the coming years?
Yes. So first of all, like the person who's in charge of B2B resellers of Tony's and also manufacturing, they're both business angels in our companies. So I think we got a good foot in the door. And last year we worked a lot with influencer marketing, and next year we will focus on B2B resellers. And this is how Tony scaled from, I think, in 5 years, in 3 years, from 2 million to 70 million to 80 million revenues. So it was really crazy. And that was due to the B2B resellers. So I think we can just, like, it was a nice strategy of us to really hop on that train and to learn from them and to get them as experts on our board. Regarding business models, so I think we will have a long-term value of 230 euros. So basically they will buy the hardware for 80 euros and then a 10 euro subscription for over 4 years. So preschool and then third year, maybe even fourth year if this child is behind. And basically the electronics and all the stuff doesn't cost that much. It's below 20 euros. And we just also confirmed that from our manufacturing side where we're right now producing. And then we have like costs of course, cloud and all this type of software stuff. And I believe in a gross margin then of 80% in the long run. That's our goal. And then we have in the US a big higher marketing spend than in Germany, a bit of delivery spend, and in the end, a contribution margin of 50%. So that's where we aim our business model to be in 2025. And so right now we have sold 500 units, just shipped the first 100 test to have the first beta testing, and now we really produce 10,000 of them.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Alicia. Time is almost up actually. Maybe if you have any comment from the board, maybe not question, but maybe feedback, feel free to do it, or otherwise we will move to the next page.
Yeah, you can move to the
just
next.
briefly, super interesting product, Alicia. It's a shame we still haven't managed to catch up in Berlin yet. So we'll have to do it soon. Yes, the last time we spoke, we were at 0 fundraising. So we tried to raise 300,000 euros. We're now at almost 600,000 euros. So a lot of happened since the last time.
Yeah, great. I hope we will meet early. Thank you, Alicia. I have to stop you there. Thanks so much.
I put my LinkedIn in the chat.
Okay, yeah, feel free to do that. Thank you. Then, okay, let's move to the next presentation. Next company is Tempo Reading. Tim Wilson and Natalie, co-founder of the company, will do the presentation. Tim, feel free to share your screen and you already did.
Yeah, everybody can see the screen, yeah? So, there we go. Let me just give me 1 second. What I did to my keynote there, something. Hang on a second. Exit. That's it. So just stop share out. Apologies, guys.
No worries.
So back. All the best preparation in the world, yeah? There we go.
Yeah,
screen, share. Right. So let's change some slides. So I'm Tim Wilson, CEO and innovator of Tempo Reading. It's the first eye tracking and AI reading and learning app. Alongside me today is my co-CEO, Natalie Long. Natalie is an accomplished educator, honours degree, master's degree in education, and 10 years in teaching. Myself, I've innovated in AI, natural language processing, over the last 8 or 9 years, founder of a platform called Social Asking, also a world-class musician, so a lot of knowledge about education. Our other key partners are LTL Labs, the experts in AI, facial recognition, eye tracking, and our go-to-market partner, which is Newham Partner Newham Partnership Working in London. They're a non-profit, 250 school clients in London. They're our go-to-market partner. What's the problem? We all know the problem. Schools are facing crisis in terms of teachers quitting with workload. We've got major issues with home reading. You see these statistics here from the UK National Parent Study. That's expanding into just general literacy. We've got issues with skim reading, with the new digital norm. Skim reading affects deep learning. And now we've got the whole dopamine addiction with TikTok and how that's affecting the plasticity of the brain and attention span. So how are we going to solve those issues? Well, the Tempo solution combines a number of elements. The first is eye and head tracking. What does this mean? The child is using our app on a tablet. we could track their performance via an iron head tracking algorithm through the tablet camera. Okay, so we could tell if they're reading, we could tell if they're staring off screen, we can tell if they're focused. We're putting the parent and teacher inside that reading experience of the child for the first time ever. Okay, we also have something called text reveal, which means we reveal the text word by word and line by line. That is to hyper focus the child, number one. We can alter the speed of that to slow it down, speed it up, depending on their focus rate. It also reduces complexity on the screen for the neurodiverse. The AI is involved in the iron head tracking, but also is reacting in real time to what the student is doing. The students can be of all ages. Okay, so this is not just a K-12 solution. So the AI can slow down the reveal. It can is analyzing the performance in real time. And over numbers of reads, the AI will actually start suggesting various tempos for the reveal to be revealed, depending on the subject matter. So it's very personalized learning. So in summary, a parent or teacher can track the reading performance and progress of with one child or a whole class without needing to supervise. Okay, so this is a huge burden being lifted for everybody. So I'm going to play a short video here. Let's go. This is my daughter using the tech. It's a very clean solution. We're focused on deep learning and focus. You can see the words reveal word by word. As my daughter reads, the eye tracking, head tracking is following her eyes. It confirms she's actually read the line. She gets a small tick, slight gamification, and then the next line reveals. Okay, so we've got inside of what the child is actually doing. Yeah, they can't say they're not reading. They can't say they've half read. We know if they've read or not. The tempo of the reveal can be set by a slider, or the AI will learn over time. If they stare away from the screen, okay, they get a reminder as well. All these notifications are going to the parent, they're going to the teacher. Okay, so this is all in real time, human-assisted AI is what we call it. On to the next section. If the child is having difficulty, if they're just blankly staring at the screen, we can detect that. They can then tap on a word. We have comprehension questions following each read. A report is generated. So if you think about a parent gets a report every 3 months, now they get one after every read. A teacher, for instance, would take, 15 minutes per child to manually assess. Well, they could do 30 in that same time period, okay? What problems are we solving? We're going to increase home reading levels without needing parental supervision. We address skim reading and attention span global decline. We can increase classroom efficiency and reduce teacher workload, and we can support neurodiverse learners at the same time. So really all the key global problems in education, Tempo has the potential to solve. The experience, all the content is aligned with the UK national curriculum at the moment, but it will allow teachers to upload their own content. It will allow students to upload their own study notes as well. And there's some slight gamification in there as well. Business model, B2B, revenue, schools, local authorities. We have a JV partner, as I mentioned before. We're looking at contracts, £3,000 to £8,000 per year, 2-year contract. And obviously B2C, parents adopting this. It's a huge benefit for them to have all that knowledge on the child's insight, reading progress and performance. And we have a partner there, the ADHD Foundation of the UK. There is also the opportunity here to white label the API for compliance, because obviously we can now tell if you've read a document or not. Okay, so it's potential competitor to DocuSign as well. JV partner proposal. This is pretty big for us because this is our trajectory into the UK education space. MPW has over 250 schools in their client books, currently 850 SLAs. They're going to contribute their back office finance, sales and marketing, product development assistance, and product launch strategy, and partner with us. 70-strong team who've helped launch apps such as Learning by Questions and Brain Sparks. And part of the agreement is they've got to deliver us 50 school clients in 6 months. So this gets us trajectory, gets the organic growth in the school sector, government sector in the UK. We have a very substantial network as well. We're going to build on that, and we're also going to look for other JV partners. Competitors.
I have to stop you there, actually. That's
okay, sorry.
Part, and I'm sure you will discuss more in detail.
Sure.
Yeah. Shall we start with you?
Just go to the end slide because that does a summary. So I took way longer than I thought.
Oh,
there we go.
Okay. Taya, shall we start with you? Any question?
I was wondering, to what extent is actually tracking eye movement a good enough index for the learner actually comprehending and really following and paying attention? So sometimes people tend to mindlessly read. I don't know how that relates between children and adults and if it's the same for children or not. But I'm just wondering, is it just that the exercises that you do after the learning confirm that this is the case? Or is it proven scientifically that eye tracking in and of itself is a sufficiently good predictor that the child is actually focusing?
Well, I think there's a number of elements there. The first thing is we're revealing the text, okay? So they're hyper-focused on each word as it happens. That is metacognitive approach, which you use in sport and music, where you slightly slow down, you learn the process, and then you deeper learn. So you cannot skim read, okay? Now, if you want to read Harry Potter, skim read, that's not relevant. If you want to learn, you should not be skim reading. You should be deep learning. So one, we're hyper-focused in them. And on the trials we've done ourselves, small scale with about 30 children, some very ADHD, some not. Every parent has been gobsmacked about how focused the child is. Then the parents have used it and they've all said, could we read like this? Could you create a reading version for us? It hyper focuses. The eye tracking is really designed just to check that they're actually reading. Okay. So that's, and how focused they are, they stand outside the screen. Has the parent got the assurance they're actually learning? Has the teacher got the assurance they're actually learning? In terms of comprehension, we have comprehension questions post the read as well. So that's the fail safe. The other bit of tech we're working on is detecting alpha waves with the eye tracking as well. And alpha waves is a very hyper proven method. You're in alpha, you're relaxed and you're learning. You're in gamma, you're very stressed and you're learning. So that's another addition we're going to put into technology probably in the next 4 to 6 weeks as well. But great question. Thank you. Thank you.
Very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you, team. Hannes, you have any question?
Yeah, thank you, Tim, for the presentation, and also good to hear an update from you guys. Would be curious because I think you didn't get to the timelines. What's the timeline on the partnership, school sales, the plans for next year? Where do you stand on the commercial side of things?
Let me just go back to that. Sorry. So yeah, we're looking really on receipt of funding. I've bootstrapped so far, so we will have an iOS beta version going live on the App Store for our pilots. Okay, they start in January. We have 10 schools piloting for our partner. We want to launch the Android version on funding together and major marketing together. The newer partnership work in that agreement is just really with legals at the moment. That's going to be signed. We would like to have those 50 to, they reckon 100 schools signed up out of their network by month 9. Okay. And then they're going to be reselling to other bigger resellers. They've got 250. There's other resellers in England with 3,000 or 4,000 schools. Okay. The ADHD Foundation of the UK, which is arguably after the US, the most globally respected, they have got 100 schools and about 20,000 membership. They again want to pilot and they are very commercially minded. They want to resell. If we get the ADHD Foundation endorsement, that is torch paper for us. Yeah, that is just going to go organic. Okay, so that's our sectors. I'm very much focused on JV partners. I built technology platforms before. And if you've got those partner networks, it makes life a lot easier, yeah, rather than just having a small team smashing away at the coalface.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannes. Sami, do you have any comment or question about it?
Tim, that was brilliant, and kudos on the progress you've made today. I just think selling to schools is extremely difficult. Obviously, you've made some traction so far with the new partnership, which is brilliant, but just like thinking next 5 years, scaling to 100 million in revenue, how do you foresee doing that, and what gives you the edge to be able to achieve and unlock such quite a hard segment to sell into historically?
Firstly, I think we've got, to quote one expert, if there's ever a viral product, we have it. It's a school gates conversation product. It's a dinner party conversation. Have you got the app that reads with the child? It gives you a report immediately. This is not just another EdTech app. I think that first is going to give us some organic growth. Focusing on the ADHD sector as well, which is part of our focus. Okay, you're talking a long-term need. It'll be, if the product's successful with that audience, which you know it will be, you've got high retention rates. Okay, and you're going to get very organic very quickly. Okay, so 100 million revenue, that's a big ask. Yeah. Can we get to 20 or 30 million in 3 or 4 years with 150,000 parents paying for it? I believe we can. I think we've also got the student version as well. That's all ages. Upload your PDF of notes, off you go. And obviously then the white label as well could be additional revenue on top of that. I think we've got something pretty special. Yeah, going on the reaction, our early trials with people, it is friends and family, but watching people get locked into this, I can only recommend you have a go. Yeah, once you have a go and you get in this trance as you're reading, yeah, which you've probably never been in since your very early years of trying to learn, it all makes sense. yeah, it comes home at that point. So we'd love to show that to you in London if that's possible.
Nice. Great stuff, Tim, and congrats.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks.
Thank you, Summit team. We have less than a minute, maybe only one advisor we can hear from, Alexandre or Vincent. Anyone have maybe specific question?
No question. Very interesting pitch. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alexandre. Vincent, what do you think about it? Yeah.
All good from my perspective. Thank you. I think right side of history, right? I think people are reading more digitally today versus analog. So maybe changing it up a bit could also work.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We almost up, Tim. Great presentation, great answer.
Yeah, and if anybody
Thank you
wants
so much.
a trial account, please feel free to get contract. You can upload it to your iPad and have a go. Experience the world of tempo reading.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. Thank you, team. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. Let's move to the final presentation. It's Edsoma Read. Kyle Walker will do the presentation. Kyle, feel free to share your screen and start the presentation. We cannot hear you, Kyle.
Can you hear my screen or see my screen?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you guys very much. I appreciate y'all having me here today. My company is called Edsoma. It's a voice recognition technology that identifies weaknesses in readers in real time. I created Edsoma during the pandemic because I had moved to the United States and I was separated from my children. One day, my daughter reached out to me asking me to teach her how to read. And because I suffered from literacy issues on my own, it was something I couldn't do. So I started looking for a solution, and all I found was the problem. So I created Edsoma. Let me know if you can hear the video.
I don't.
No? Okay, I apologize. Share screen. Share sound. Sorry.
That the product works helps,
yeah.
For sure. But aside from that, there had to be something because, as you mentioned, you get approached a lot. What do you look for?
So
in
this
a person
is us
when they
at
approach you?
TechCrunch. Shaquille O'Neal's one of
You look in their
my
eyes and you're like,
investing partners
this is
early
somebody I
on.
want to be in business with.
First thing I look for is the passion. And he came in, he was a little nervous at first, and he just got right to it. And the passion in his voice and, you know, wanting to help the children and, you know, he had his facts in order, he had everything straight. It made him believable. And then once he showed me the technology, I was in.
So what we know is the problem is reading levels are dropping. We use voice recognition to drive that back up. We've got over 54 million American adults that can't read the menu at the restaurant. So I created Edsoma. It's an AI voice-powered reading solution that uses voice recognition to identify weaknesses in real time. Here's a demonstration of the product.
10 little squirrels.
As you read out loud, the words turn green, letting them know they get it right. And then as the child continues to read, we start collecting the data, identifying the things that they get wrong.
I see.
I'm not going to play this whole video, but if they get one wrong, it'll turn red and it'll stop them. They have the ability to select the word. It'll break it into syllables, and then they can also allow it to be read back to them as well. We understand that what's going on in the classroom today is that they have a lack of resources. Teachers don't necessarily have the access to real-time data. And of course, old content is boring. So with Edsoma, we've created everything that can be seen at a glance. We provide teachers that are new to the space the proper support in order to influence science reading, but they also can see the data in real time and will point out and make suggestions to where the student can be guided through their reading journey. Our secret sauce is an oral readability platform. I'll play this for just a second as well.
There was
but ultimately, as a child reads, we can identify the things they're getting right and wrong.
In the woods by a creek. Bob liked play.
Right here, it's showing in the top right some of the data points that we're collecting in real time. We collect accuracy, fluency, words correct per minute,
would get very
and
dirty
completeness as well.
One sunny day.
Some of our competitors are Amira, Elo, Epic. I heard other people point out ABC Mouse. These are all some of our competitors. The reasons I selected the ones that we did is because Epic holds the space for consumer content. They have over 50,000 titles. At this point, we have about 12,000 titles on our platform. And Amira is the go-to solution for voice recognition in the United States. We launched our product in August of this year. Today, we have over 43,000 users that we're currently onboarding. We've got 12,000 books. We've seen engagement increase from 5 minutes a day to 25 minutes a day. And on average, we're giving each teacher back 3,075 minutes per year by guiding the baseline assessments. We do have a B2B model where we charge a subscription base. On average, we're $90 a student. We have some schools that are paying $125 per student, and then others that are paying as low as $80 a student. We're focused on the Edsoma strategic target market. It's our K through 4 right now. We needed to focus on certain areas and become the best in that area. So based off the user experience, the maturity of the content, that's where we decided to focus on. Like I said, we launched in August. We had 0 students. We had 300 by the end of that month. To December, where we've recently just closed a 30,000 student contract with the city of New York, and we're on track to do over $4 million in revenue this year. And when I mean this year, I mean over the next 12 months. We got here by building an amazing team. Dr. Christy Wilson was head of the AASA, which was oversees all the superintendents in the United States. She was voted in by her peers there. So it streamlined our sales process because when she calls, they already have relationships with her and they're more willing to take the meetings. We also have an amazing board of advisors from Merle, Dr. Merle. She was head of product at Google for voice recognition for children.
Thank you so much, Kyle. I have
and
to stop you there. We passed the 5 minutes already. So much, Kyle. Let's finish.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead.
Vincent, would you like to start?
Sure. Thank you, Kyle. Very cool.
Yeah.
In terms of maybe this is a bit of an obvious answer, but just want to hear it, is like, what kind of KPIs do you feel like schools are really focused on and that you feel like the reading platform will help develop? So in other words, like when you're selling, what are the emphasis points that you're having in terms of return on investment that these districts are making?
Yeah, so in the United States recently, they made it law that if you can't read at a grade 3 reading level, you're not allowed to proceed past grade 3, but there was no technology to really identify that in real time. So one of the things is that we can identify and make suggestions in real time to the teachers. But another problem that we're having is that a lot of teachers are coming into the space with little to no experience in teaching now because there's such a shortage nationally. So we actually provide support to those new teachers that come in and don't have any literacy background. We can actually guide the kids through the literacy journey because I built it for parents that were non-readers, right? So we made it so the app can engage with the kid so they don't have to have all that support.
Thank you, Vincent. Sami, do you have any question?
Yeah, Kyle, great. Great stuff. Great that you've got Shaq on board. That's fantastic. I think, not to sound like a broken record, but similar to my question on the last one, like selling schools is super hard. Understand that you have your chief education officer elected, who was elected by school wardens, but like thinking of that path to 100 million, where it goes beyond, you know, her sort of more local school remit. What's your edge, you know, and you yourself and your team as it stands, like how do you get into schools? What's your sort of approach there?
Yeah, so that's a great question. We understand that the bottleneck is scaling the sales process, but today we've been downloaded in 32 countries around the world with $7 a day in marketing. So with that little incentive of marketing, we're seeing tremendous growth, but also we're getting, because of the teacher feedback and the support, teachers are selling it for us. We're getting calls every day in order to move into it. We do also have a group of superintendents that have retired from the AASA that are contracted and commission driven that are regionally driving sales as well. We have over 45,000 users today after launching in August. We have clear path to over 300,000 users next year with the contracts that we're currently negotiating right now. So we are using the momentum that we have, plus the grilling marketing aspect. But Edsoma also stands for Education Social Marketplace. So we do reward teachers with marketplace opportunities from the Scholastic point of view as well. And we've seen how well Scholastic has grown through the education space.
Okay, thanks. And so 300K users, or past the 300K users, I think this slide's saying 45,000 students as of now. How many schools is that?
I can't give you the exact school number, but I can give you districts. It's 6 districts. So on average, there's about 300 students per school in each school. So you know, roughly 100 schools would be 30,000.
Yeah.
So we're probably close to 125 schools right now.
Cool. Thanks a lot, Kyle.
Thanks a lot, Sami and Kyle. Hannes?
Thank you. Yeah, great presentation, Kyle, and looks like a super interesting product. We also already invested in Epic, so know the space a bit. I would just be curious. Of course, you have the fundraising ask as well, and I guess fundraising takes a lot of your time. But besides fundraising, if you look at the next few weeks and months, sort of what's the biggest challenge for you right now that you have to solve for next months to hit your goals?
Since you know about Epic, content is definitely a bottleneck because we've added a layer of speech and technology over our content. It's a little bit slower than what we'd like. We have 12,000 titles under contract, but it's a very heavy lift. On average, each content developer can put about 4 books live into our library per day. So to get any amount of traction, we have a really big hands-on approach for that right now, but we need to slim that down to really drive margins up. So that's our biggest, that's what's keeping us up at night.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hannes. Alexandre or Theo?
Yeah.
Question?
Thank you very much for the presentation. Very interesting. What kind of contracts do you have with publishers, and how difficult is it to attract them on your platform? Do you have exclusive deals on some titles?
No, we never look for exclusivity quite yet. We offer a Spotify type model. We pay a percentage of our revenue every time the book's read. So from like a B publisher perspective, this is revenue that they wouldn't necessarily have access to. So we've got no pushback. We've actually stopped looking for content right now until we can catch up to our content backlog. But on average, every time we go to a book fair, we sign about 6,000 titles. So we're not having a problem with content right now.
Okay, great. Congrats.
Thank you.
One of the other things that I didn't mention is that we have content in 3 different languages on our platform right now. So we can focus on French, English, and Spanish on the platform as well.
And are you thinking about producing your own content at some point?
For sure.
Yeah.
That's something that Epic really focused on. And I feel like when you're the best in class, that people should follow it. So we will be, once we raise more money, we will be focusing on extending into that space as well.
And about the go-to-market strategy, I mean, we've invested in Lalilo that was acquired by Renaissance Learning in the US, and one of the go-to-market strategy that they found interesting was the B2C to B approach, because district sales are pretty long. So offering a freemium approach to teachers and then upselling to schools was quite efficient for them.
So that was the strategy that Epic used, and it's worked very well for them. But because of the data suggestions and the support for teachers, we're having no problem selling it to teachers. But we have had over 2,800 downloads on the consumer play over the last since August, and that's all a rollover from our B2B sales. So
makes sense.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks so much time, Ms. Ordap. Actually, but Theo, if you have any comment or feedback in your mind, please
it will probably take long. So I think.
Okay. Then,
and I have no problem connecting with you offline if you have any questions. I put my LinkedIn link in the chat.
Absolutely. This is what it's all about. Feel free to connect after the event. So time's up. We can. I would like to say goodbye with our advisors. Maybe just a final comment or saying goodbye. Theo, would you like to say anything?
Well, thank you so much for organizing. It was really cool to hear all the pitches. All of them really, really cool. Really brilliant founders, and it was a pleasure getting to know all of you and looking forward to following up. That's it.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. Alexander.
No comments. Thank you very much for inviting me. It was very interesting to hear all the pitches and looking forward to connecting with all of you on LinkedIn and post call.
Thanks so much, Alexandra. Hannes.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It was a pleasure hearing all your pitches and really enjoyed them. I'll also post my link in the chat, so feel free to just reach out, shoot me a quick email, and happy to jump on a follow-up call anytime.
Thanks so much, Hannes. Vincent.
Yeah, not much more to say. I think that everybody's covered, but future is bright. I'm sure everybody's, solving problems for the right reasons, and I have a lot of faith in maybe the young learners of tomorrow and how they'll be learning in the future.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Vincent. Sami.
Same as everyone else. Thanks a lot for having us, Batuhan, and all the pitches were awesome. It was brilliant. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you all to advisors, and thank you everyone investor in the audience staying with us until the end. Thank you all the presenters. We will have more events next year related to EdTech, potentially around throughout summer potentially. So I have to see you at our future events, and thanks so much again, and have a good evening or have a good afternoon wherever you live. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you.
Bye.
Bye.